Here we go. What's going on, guys? Vag again with another healing video. First thing you notice is the armor is just a little bit different in look. Still rocking the heavy shoulders, but I have gotten all of my light armor, though it's not green. I did enchant it for a little bit of max magicka, so kind of working on that. I'm not doing great with the whole armor thing. I'm finding it difficult to find pieces. I haven't been questing very much because I'm just not a questing guy. I'd rather sorry, I'd rather just run through dungeons and get loot and good drops and stuff, and that's how I practiced. In Star Wars with my healer, I would just run through the dungeon over and over and over and over and over until I got him. The dungeons in ESO, however, are not great. They're not great for loot, for EXP, a little bit of experience. I mean, for every enemy you kill, you get about as much if you were grinding out in the world. Sorry guys, let me type to these guys real quick. One of them wants to go. Which one he wants to dual heal? We should be fine. But anyway, see, the dungeons aren't great experience, but it's better than nothing. Like I said, this is Spindle Clutch, the second level 10 to 15 dungeon in Elder Scrolls Online. So I apologize ahead of time if I call for sneeze into the mic, things like that. But I'm fighting off a little bit of a virus here, whatever it is. My girlfriend seems to have come down with it, and I picked it up after that. So just some kind of virus I'm fighting off here. Getting right into it. When I start a pull, I'm still using the 1-2 punch, I like to call it, which is my healing springs and my regeneration. I mean, that brings them down to about, as you can see, 67 to 70-ish magicka. After that, use my ability, the last hit of my heavy attack heals nearby allies. It's not much, but it's a little bit, and it definitely helps, so I go ahead and I still use it. We do have another Templar healer in this dungeon, somebody who's dueling, healing, and DPSing. So this will be a little easier on me. However, you can still get an idea of just how I do things here. So there you saw it again, the 1-2, the healing springs, and the regeneration. And it's keeping them topped off nicely. Other than that, it's not too much different. I can throw that down and keep people up pretty well. I usually don't have any issues. I will be able to show you once my ultimate abilities get better. As you can see, they're at about 50% now. So once they pick up a little bit and I get that up to 100%, I'll be able to show you what I do for bigger pulls. There's a pull coming up here that it does help to have somebody off-spec as healer. It's not necessary. I've done it by myself. But it is just extremely difficult, in my experiences at least, with lower level tanks and whatnot. They seem to have a hard time with the pull, so something to keep in mind if you go in. You know, I don't like to be that guy and be like, you're too low for this dungeon, but in some of these cases it really is you're a little bit too low. You might want to level up a little bit. I'd say at least 12 or 13 before you really start getting into these dungeons and being able to really hold your own in them. I had tried to record this earlier, I'll admit it, but like the group was all level 10. I was the only level 14 in here, and we just could not get past some of the pulls. So I wasn't able to upload it. I got a little frustrated, left the group after our 6th wipe, and I thought, you know what, I can't upload a video like that. So then I just quit. But go ahead and loot this since it's not a big deal. That's actually the 4th silky threads I've gotten. I'm wearing one already, and it's, like I said, the 4th one I've gotten, so apparently that's not a very rare drop from this boss. But what are you going to do? You take what you can get. So that's the first boss there. See, not much of a, not very difficult. So not very difficult to heal that. Like I said, we do have another healer helping us as well. And for some reason, the light on my staff is stuck, so I'm not really sure how to get rid of that, but it's kind of bothering me. Hey, tank, you wanna pull these? There we go. All right, 1-2 punch, boom. I like to get as close to my tank as possible. These corridors here, you see he's getting low. I'm gonna throw in my casting heal, and obviously the other Templar hit him as well, which he should just be focusing on DPS because I can more than handle this. But we won't knock him for helping out. I'll never turn down helping on the heals or anything like that. I'm not a douche like that. So yeah, I'll still throw these up here. If I need to heal somebody and they're going to live, I'll use a casted ability. That's on my 4 button there. It's called it's something Ritual of Rebirth, I believe. Yeah, Ritual of Rebirth. And it heals for a good amount. It's cheap, but it's a cast. Cheaper than my instant heal, but it does need to be casted. So generally, I'll try to stand as close to the group as I can when I cast that, because otherwise, it does have a range. And with this game, it is kind of hard to tell if you're in range or not. See, I'm going to throw down the healing springs there, and I'll just throw regeneration up. The thing with regeneration is, see, it skipped to those NPCs back there. It only targets 2 other allies, and I believe myself. It always targets me and 2 other allies. But it's one of them abilities where the staff is good for laying down, say, this, because it's a pretty big range. It's pretty good for that, and I'll keep it for that. But then you really have to pay attention to where you're at, where you're situated, and where your allies are at. That's why I keep this casted ability on my bar, because it does heal everybody as long as they're within range of my heal. So here we go. There's a boss fight. Maybe the Templar will kind of concentrate on DPSing a little more than healing. This is really bothering me. Let's see if we can get it to not be glowing. I guess not. It's just going to glitch out. Alright, it's always going to be glowing. So let's see if we can get healed by ourselves on this one. I know we can do it. Let's see if I can show you how. Healing Springs, regeneration. Now I'm going to throw this ward out there on number 3. And what that does is it seeks out my closest ally at the lowest health, and it puts a damage shield on them. You should be able to see it on them. I guess not, I can't see it here for some reason. Orange is getting a little low. Let's throw him a big old heal. Didn't seem to do anything. There it is. See that orange bubble right around the person behind me here? That's the steadfast ward. And what that does is it gives them a shield, and depending on how much damage they take, I think it's how much damage they take. Based on health lost, it gives them more shield up to 300%. So it's a really good way. I'll throw that on somebody, and I don't really have to worry about them too much. They can take a few hits, and I can concentrate on healing other people or regenerating a little bit of magicka if I need to. So Amun-Ra there is getting a little low. We throw him here. Looks like the other Templar is helping out, but like I said, you guys can get a general idea of how I do this usually. We see somebody is losing even a little bit of health. If I'm at max, I'll go ahead and throw that healing springs down. I don't want to wait long enough that they're going to get low. If I have the magic to cast the spell, I'm going to do it. And there we go. Swarm Mother is down just like that. So again, 1-2 punch, 1 regeneration. And usually it's enough. If someone's taking big damage, I'll throw that ward on them. And then I can even throw a big heal on them after that. Hit the 4 key here, and it does my casted heal. But not usually if I don't need to. Doing that does drain a significant amount of magicka. So generally I try to stay away from doing that. But generally I don't need to, but every once in a while I will. That glow is really annoying. I'm not sure why, but it's annoying for me. Glitches. Oh, we're going to go ahead and run up here. So this dungeon's not bad. There are some big pulls, but it's not too bad, actually. As long as you know where you're standing, where your allies are standing, and you stay out of the big red circles. Oh, excuse me. You're not going to have much problems with it. So I am enjoying Spindle Clutch so far. It's actually... I'm deathly terrified of spiders. Anybody that knows me in real life, IRL, will know that I'm terrified of spiders. So, being in a dungeon full of gigantic spiders, a little much for me, but I'll get through it. God, that glowing on my staff, it's not supposed to be there, I guess, is why it's bothering me. It's odd that unequipping it and re-equipping it doesn't get rid of it. So these guys are going to go ahead and attack us. I don't know why everybody's standing back there. But they don't attack actually until you attack them. So we'll throw down Healing Springs, Regeneration. And the reason I'm power attacking these people here while standing on the outskirts is I have an ability. Hang on, let me heal this problem there. I have an ability that the last hit of my heavy attack actually heals my allies for 12% of the damage dealt. Now, it's not much, but as long as I'm not needing to throw out big heals and I'm just waiting for my magic to regen, two things, it heals for a little bit, so you know it could possibly keep someone topped off if they get hit by a little swing of a sword or something. But it's also damaging my enemies, so why wouldn't I just go ahead and do that for my allies, cause a little bit of damage. I do try to attack an enemy close to my tank, that way if it is one that has aggro on, let me throw the shield out, throw it out the Braum there, and then I'll throw my big group-wide heal out here. Followed by healing springs to keep Braum topped off. Now I did have a little bit of help there, but it wouldn't have been an issue. I still had about 70% magicka, so I could have thrown out yet another heal, and we would have been fine on magicka percentage. But it damages enemies as well. This pool is where it's actually useful to have another Templar, another healer in the group. The Widowmaker there, she hits like a truck, and these guys are all just casters and whatnot. So it's this is quite a fun pool. So let's see if we can get through it first time here. See if we can do it. So, as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and attack this mage because he's right next to my healer. I'll throw out my instant heal there because Braum's taking a good bit of damage. 77% magicka, so let's throw out another instant heal to orange and throw down a healing springs. We're about 50% magicka, not too bad. We do want to be a little higher, but it's not a big deal. The reason it's not concerning at this point is it is a big pool, and if I have to use all my magicka, I can go ahead and do that. It's not a big deal. It doesn't look like we're going to need it this time, but I do have an ace in the hole up my sleeve. My ultimate ability there is just a ridiculous amount of healing, and it works really, really well. I could heal people through an AoE from a boss standing in it. Maybe not the end of the dungeon's boss, but certainly... What is that? I'm not sure what that is. But certainly a normal boss. I can heal them through an AoE of it. It does an absolutely massive amount of healing. Let's say we're going to go ahead and attack her. As you'll see, Braum's health goes up just a little bit when I do that. It was right before he had cast that other thing. 60% every 0.5 seconds for 4 seconds. It doesn't seem like much, but you couple that, it's basically 120 every second, so it's about 400 some health. I have 400 health, not putting any into health. My tank obviously is going to have a little bit more. I believe it's, I'm going to go ahead and say it's Braum. But couple that with a healing spring or with a regeneration, it heals for quite a bit. So we're going to kind of stay back here a little bit, kind of hang back from the group just a little. It's always better not to be behind the enemies, away from the group here in case an AoE does get set down, because a lot of archers and everything do have a lot of AoEs. In most MMOs you'll find bosses have the AoEs, not so in Elder Scrolls. Everybody has the AoEs. I'm going to pop my ultimate ability here just because I've been using it, saving it the whole time. Not really necessary for the boss, and I don't want to lose anybody during this video. As you can see, every time I heal people, it goes up quite quickly, so it's not usually a big deal. I usually get it back before you even realize it, really. So, it looks like somebody put a steadfast ward on him. That's great, but like I said, I don't use it, you know, all that often. It's kind of finicky. See, I put it on me, so you can't just put it on my. I can't just put it on my tank to have a backup shield in case something were to go wrong. I need to put it on when he's losing health, and I don't like doing it. I'd rather throw him a heal rather than a band-aid. I'd rather cure it than put a band-aid on it. So you saw somebody was taking bigger damage. I'll throw the shield on them, like I said, so I can kind of worry about the other DPS, check their health, and if they're good, I can come back and heal that person, since it is a 6-second shield. I would love to know what that is. Is he a vampire? Or... I'm assuming it's a vampire, but you know, you can't ever be too sure, so I'll ask him what's with the wings. And before we could hit Amon-Ra, he must have taken aggro. He goes ahead and drops. So we're gonna back up. I'm not even sure where he is because my heals aren't even reaching him. That's kind of odd. Let's get out of that. Someone needs to heal. Really? Is he not able to be healed? What's going on here? Let's cast it. Heal everybody back up. Now, if I get low in Magicka, I generally don't throw out a Healing Springs. It's almost as much Magicka as my Rebirth. It's 117 to 108. I'll throw out the Healing Springs if, you know, just to keep people's health up. But if I'm low on Magicka, I'm always spamming either my 4 or the 5. Either the instant heal or the casted heal. Because it's just not worth the Magicka to cast Healing Springs. Though it is an AoE heal over time, the Magicka cost is a little much, I think, for an ability like that. So we're going to continue on. We're right up this pathway. See, like I said, if you look down there in the underneath my, or on my bar rather, my skill bar, my ultimate ability is about 58%, so it's a little over half already. And I just used it maybe 2-3 rooms ago. So by the time we get up to the final boss, if it's not at 100% by the time if I really would need it, by the time I'd really need it, it would be at 100%. So we're going to pop both of those out there and start our heavy attacks on the enemies here. Ra seems to want to tank now, I guess. So that's the thing. Let's throw a big quick heal in there. I lost some health. I don't feel like losing health. This is another room that's a little difficult. Like I said, ultimate's at 71% already. This is another room that's a little difficult. Must be a Dragon Knight ability. I'm not really crazy about the Dragon Leap, just because it's right there. Or he jumps really far. I have a hard time concentrating. Some of them guys, you should know this, have a hard time concentrating on the video, talking when I'm trying to heal at the same time. 100%, we're going to throw our Healing Springs and Regeneration down. That should keep everybody up. And we'll power attack some of these enemies. Another thing is sometimes I get a lucky exploit where I don't really realize that the enemy's taking damage or is stunned. But I will get a lucky exploit on there and help my team out considerably by putting an enemy on the ground that was otherwise standing up, maybe that they didn't see. Or sometimes even one that's attacking me will get stunned, and that way I can not only heal my allies for a little bit. There's a web. I was going to say, wow, that's glitchy, but there is a web there. So, might be. Alright, again, 1-2 punch and into the heavy attacks. Keep glancing up at the enemy's health bar, and then also at my magic bar, back to my allies. And since nothing's going on right now, but since I'm at full Magicka, I might as well throw a heal down. Throw both these heals down. That way when somebody does start taking damage, I'm ahead of the heal. I'm ahead of the damage because my heal's already on them. I don't have to take the time to cast both of the heals. So, like I said, every once in a while, I'll just look, and if everything is fine, I'll just throw one down. You saw the other Templar is doing that as well, so he does know what he's doing as well. He's throwing the heals down. Even though they're not needed, it's better to get ahead of the damage than wait for the damage to start occurring and then go. So this might end badly because he just ran into everything in the middle here, and we might need to use our ultimate ability, but with 2 healers, maybe not. We should be okay to go. Instant heal, everybody's getting kind of low, and let's start power attacking. So it helps to have another Templar, because that mistake could have been costly with just one person there. So you always want to wait for your healer to be ready. You always want to wait for people. So I try to use the synergy attacks, but often I miss them because I'm just paying attention to a lot of other things. And oh, see, I missed the heal there, or the block rather. So it's very, very should I say fast? It's very complex, not complex, but very into it. It's very absorbing, the combat, and just the healing in general. You just really have to pay attention. I can't just stand back here and throw casted spells on my allies here. I have to be in the fray. I can't be right up in it, but I have to be close. Some of the pulls I'm used to my commando, and I still have a bad habit of doing this. I'll run in right here with my allies and start healing. which isn't what you need to do. You know, from here with this game, you need to time everything. You need to know where you're supposed to be at, where your allies are at. You see, for this enemy, I'm standing back here. That's because that. And obviously, these guys didn't get out of it really in time. But, you know, we said a good healer can bring them back up, and that's what I did with some help from the other Templar, of course. I don't want to make it sound like I'm God. I'm in no way as comfortable with this healer, even close to being as comfortable with this healer, as I was with my commando or anything like that. I'm still learning the ropes. This is just a video showing you guys how I have come to do this, to do these heals, and how I'm enjoying the class. And I really am enjoying the class so far. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Even, you know, I see a lot of people, well, you should pick Templar or healing staff. You know, I kind of just wanted a healer with a lot of versatility, because that's what he was going to be, a healer. He wasn't going to be a tank / healer or a DPS / healer, and I really wish this guy would move out of the way of that once or twice. He's just a healer. That's what he's going to be doing. So I wanted versatility. I wanted different types of heals, and all that stuff. So that's why he's using a staff and the Templar heals. It just gives me that versatility. In the beta, I played around with the staff a little bit, and I loved this ability, this healing springs. So now that I've kind of got it set up to where I like it, to where I'm comfortable with the healer, getting better, getting more comfortable. But now that I'm starting to get the hang of it, I'm really enjoying it. So there's another video. You know, like I said, a few things different. I didn't really need to use much because this other Templar was helping out. But just to recap real quick, I throw this down, my healing springs, regenerative, whatever it is, rapid regeneration. And then if people are taking damage, I'll use a steadfast ward. Now I should put it on me here, I think. Yeah, there we go. You see that red bubble. And again, that does the shield, 77-point damage shield for 6 seconds. Shield strength is bolstered by up to 300%, increasing based on health loss. So the more health people lose, I guess, in that 6 seconds, or, you know, the more health they would have lost. I don't know how it works. I haven't really gotten into the logistics of it yet. The shield is actually bolstered. The shield strength is bolstered by about 300%. So, Ritual of Rebirth is all that's a casting one. Heals everybody within 10 meters for 142, and heals me for an additional 30%. So it's a good one if I'm starting to lose health. Heals nearby wounded ally for 177. Also heals 2 additional wounded allies for 84. So it heals 1 ally for a high amount and the other 2 for a lower amount. It is 143 magicka though. 30 more magicka and 40 or 32, 33, something like that, more than the healing springs. Rapid regeneration is actually the best heal. It takes a long time, but it's the cheapest. So between 2 and 4 is really where everything is at. I like healing springs because it gives me the ability to kind of throw a heal over to the side. It's not a very big heal though, so you know, end game, I might get rid of it. I've watched a couple of healing videos, not pretending this is all me. I've watched 1 or 2, but in all honesty, actually, I haven't finished one. Even there's one that was 20 minutes, I think. I watched like 2 minutes of it, 5 minutes of another one. I like to kind of play around my own thing. I don't want to get an idea stuck in my head of that's how I have to do it. Because if someone says, oh, dude, you're the best healer I've seen on YouTube, then I'll do it that way, and it won't be as fun for me. So I'm kind of playing around my own ideas. I can't stress that enough. I'm seeing all kinds of different builds. I'm seeing Nightblade healers. I'm seeing Nightblade tanks. I'm seeing Sorcerer tanks. I'm seeing Sorcerer heal. It's just, I'm seeing a lot of stuff, and it's all working. The only problem I've had with tanks is like low level 10s trying to do this. Excuse me, trying to do spindle clutch. Other than that, I haven't had too many problems. We've gotten through it, and I've seen a couple different classed tanks. I can tell by the techniques, or the skills they use, rather. I had a tank earlier that was using teleport from the Nightblade's tree, wearing heavy armor with a sword and a shield, and it was just like a charge move, really. It was just like having charge. It's cool the way you want to do it. You know, you want a tank that teleports up to the target and uses, you know, sword and shield is pretty much still needed because of the taunting abilities, but other than that, if there's a CC move, you know, for a Nightblade, a lot of these CC moves they hold for 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds. That's huge for a tank because that's going to hold aggro and that's going to keep everybody up that way. enemies aren't doing huge amounts of damage, as long as people move out of AoEs and block and counter and that sort of thing. So it's all viable. You know, I'd like to see people play with it a lot and not just say, well, every tank needs a sword and shield. They might, you know, they might need that taunt ability. I'm sure it's really hard at high levels when you don't have a taunt ability. But I'm not sure how the aggro works. Maybe it's based on damage. But it's the only ability I've seen in the sword and shield tree. It's a single target taunt. And actually, I'm going to look at it real quick here. One-hand shield. Puncture, it's called. It's taunts the target for 15 seconds. So it's a long time. Right? Stunning the target and disorienting the target. I mean, that's all it is. So, I mean, technically, you could maybe use a bow, you know, and knocks them back. I mean, you know, use those on targets, knock them down, use that as your taunt, you know. And if you have a lot of stamina, you can use that. You can keep the damage going. You can shoot different enemies. You can keep your damage up. So, not a huge deal. So I'd like to see people play around with it quite a bit. Now, obviously, you wouldn't be using a destruction staff or a restoration staff for tanking. They don't really have, I mean, they have some AoEs and stuff. Just check. Maybe, does it come from heavy armor? Cost of blocking? No. No, see, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's find out how aggro works. I haven't really looked it up yet, so I'm not really sure. Like I said, playing around with a lot of things. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Hopefully this video is a little more helpful. Like I said, 1, 2, healing springs, rapid regeneration. Then you got the steadfast ward for people taking damage. I use that as kind of a, you know, I see my guy over here taking damage, I'll throw that steadfast ward. I don't have to worry about him for a few seconds. I can calculate timing for Magicka regen, health lost, health being lost. You know, you figure out how much damage a mob is doing to somebody, you can calculate, you know, just in your head quick how long. Okay, well, it's going to kill him in, it won't kill him in 2 seconds because he's taking only 10% damage every second, so I can use that time to cast a spell and heal everybody back up. So it's all about timing. I don't want to make it sound too complicated, but in my head, I just kind of, I got the timing all down for these things as of so far. So I'm really enjoying it. But like I said, time to get out of here. Hopefully this was a little more informative and gave you a little bit of a preview of Spindle Clutch. And like I said, I haven't been looking at the guides. I've been doing what's been working for me based on my other healers that I played in Star Wars. Doing what worked for them, doing what's working for me, and it's, like I said, it's been working so far. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Another one coming. I'll probably level up a little bit more before I do another video. I might play around with my tank, I might not. A lot of the guys at the guild are ahead of me. You can see, I'll bring up my friends list here. A lot of these guys are ahead of me here. So I got some leveling up to do. I've been busy the last few weeks with work and dating and whatnot, so can't really complain about that, but it's cut into my Elder Scrolls time. So, alright guys, see you later. Finn.